Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and this channel is all about entrepreneurship and living your best life. What I wanted to do in today's video was give you 10 habits that you could start before the end of 2018, which is essentially going to help you to just be a better version of you in 2019. You know, our habits really do dictate how we live our life, and the more positive habits that you do have and the less negative habits that you do have, the better you're going to have at a chance at achieving what you want in the new year. So, without further ado, let's get into these habits. If you did like this video, I would very much appreciate if you gave it a big thumbs up. And of course, if you are new around here, then please consider subscribing. So the first habit, and this is one that I've only recently really adopted myself, is get in the habit of decluttering. And I'm not talking about having this one big KonMari session where you go through and throw everything out, but just making sure that your environment is constantly clear. I really do think there's a correlation between your environment and your ability to think. So if you're going to be able to perform as the best version of yourself and to have clarity with anything that you want to start in the new year, make sure your environment is a reflection of that. It might be as just simple as, you know, getting rid of clothes you no longer wear, making sure your workspace is always neat and tidy, make sure you never have clutter around your living areas like your bedroom or your living room, and doing the best you can to just maintain a tidy and neat environment. I know it seems like a really small habit. Having that clarity amongst your environment is really going to allow you to have that clarity in your mind as well. Decluttering is a really good habit to start. The next habit that I believe that you should adopt before 2019 to really help you to grow as a human being is to try something new every day. Now, I recently heard this when I was listening to a podcast or watching a video, I can't remember, by a guy called David Goggins, and he actually believes in doing something to challenge yourself every single day. And while I don't necessarily think that you need to be like going and running in a blizzard or doing 10 minutes of plank, at least doing something that is going to be challenging to you in a way that is going to help you to grow, or at least give you a new experience to help you to step outside your comfort zone, is going to allow you to be a better human being. You know, the way that we show up every single day dictates how we show up in life. So if every single day you can do something to just get yourself outside your comfort zone, think about where you could be at the end of 2019. The next habit, and honestly, I know I've got a list of 10, but this one is the one that can completely transform your life. This has completely transformed my life. But the next habit is the habit of reframing. How you look at a situation is going to completely dictate how happy you are in your life. I know we all have situations that happen to us that are less than ideal, but how you look at that situation and how you deal with that situation is going to dictate how you feel in life as in general. You know, as an example, yesterday George and I went to go get some Velcro for our couch, and as we were there we wanted to pick up some really nice candles. And I mean, candles aren't cheap. One of the candles that we bought was about $30 and the other one was about $40. You know, George and I walked out of the shop, that's fine, we're all happy with our candles, and George dropped one of the candles on the ground, a $40 candle, literally smashed, gone forever. I could have been really upset in that situation, and so could have George, but at the end of the day what we both did was reframed it. Maybe it was the universe looking out for us, maybe that candle was going to explode, or maybe we were going to leave it on and it would have burnt down our house. You know, I know those are out there situations, but if you can always reframe a negative situation to a what if this could have happened, or let's look at the positive in this situation, then you can live a much happier life. If you have a business and something doesn't go your way, maybe you didn't get the client that you wanted, or maybe a video didn't perform as well as you like, maybe you stuffed up a few words on a live. If you can reframe that to I'm learning lessons, I'm growing, then you're just going to be able to be so much more proactive rather than just constantly reacting to everything that happens to you. So constantly trying to reframe. And if you want me to make a full video on this, then please do let me know. And my next habit is to constantly be meeting new people. I heard a quote recently and it was to always be the dumbest person in the room. And I love this so much. We all know, we've heard the quotes about, you know, we're kind of the net sum of the 5 people that we surround ourselves with most. But that's really, you know, easy to just like double tap on Instagram and get it consciously. But how many of us are actually going out there and trying to seek intelligent, successful people to surround ourselves with? I made a video recently about finding a mastermind. That might be a goal that you have by the end of the new year. But at least what you can do is to make one new friend who's succeeding at the level you want to succeed at, or one new friend that can teach you something about where you want to go. But either way, get in the habit of meeting new people by going to events, putting yourself out there online, just reaching out to people in their DMs and starting a conversation with them. Either way, the more you surround yourself with influential people who are where you want to be, the easier it's going to be for you to get there. My next habit is start being honest with yourself. And this is probably going to be the hardest pill to swallow in this video, but are you making excuses? Are you making excuses about why you can't put out content, why you can't grow your business? Maybe it's that you don't have enough time. Maybe it's that you don't have enough resources. Maybe you don't have enough content ideas. Maybe you think that you're not good enough to start a business. Just be honest with yourself about whether or not this is just an excuse or whether it is reality. Let's look at the one like, I don't have enough time. I hear this every single day from thousands of people constantly telling me, I'd love to do what you do, Erin, but I don't have enough time. That's just not true. I have a client who has 3 children, a full-time job, and is building their business on the side. And this is totally not common. She wakes up sometimes at 4 a.m. before her kids wake up and does a couple of hours of work. And then she works on it late at night and on the weekends as well. If she has time, you have time. Trust me. I want you to start being really honest with yourself, because the more that you hold on to those excuses, the least likely that you're going to ever be able to succeed. And at the end of the day, the only person who cares about your excuses is unfortunately you. No one's going to come along one day and say to you, oh, wow, that's a really, really good excuse. And I totally think that that's the reason why you can't have a successful business. Here, just have the successful business that I built for you. It's not going to happen. You are the only one that can build your dreams. You are the only one who can put yourself out there and do what it takes to succeed. And so you have to take responsibility for that. And the second that you do and stop making those excuses and be honest with yourself, the second that you totally free yourself to create massive success. So be honest with yourself. So my next habit is to start being organized. I revolutionized my life and my business in 2018 by simply starting the habit of being organized. And this was after I had a session with Haley from the Profit Planner. She changed my life, really, to be honest. I never used to be someone who was super organized, and even just the simple habits of using my Asana in correlation with using my Google Calendar, in correlation with using my to-do lists, but just making sure that I'm making myself be as organized as I possibly can each and every single day. Now, of course, I do leave room for magic. I do leave room for creativity, but being a little bit stringent with my to-do list, my tasks, and my priorities has allowed me to do so much more. I used to have a lot of ideas, and I used to kind of be one of those people who had shiny object syndrome. I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. But since being able to organize all of those ideas and really focus on those priorities, my business has had a quantum leap in what I've been able to achieve. So make sure you are really, if you're not someone who's super organized, or maybe you are organized, but you don't take action on that organization, make it a habit to plan, do, plan, do, plan, do. Not plan, or just do. But either way, you want to just make that habit and make that sequence, plan something, do it, plan something, do it. That's a really good strategy for being super organized, but actually being action orientated in your business as well. My next habit is budgeting and taking control of your finances. Now, I think this one is so important. And the more that I study millionaires and billionaires and people who are super successful, the more that I see the trend that all of them have a really good handle on their finances. It doesn't matter if you're making $50,000 a year or $500,000 a year or $5 million a year. People who are super successful always know their incomings and their outgoings and have a really, good plan and budget in place for their life. I think it's really easy to think, oh, I'm just going to make all this money and I have financial freedom and I'm just never going to even think about my expenses or income ever again. I'll just be totally fine. But that's not true. People who are super successful, they hold on to their wealth by being habitual around actually tracking their income. So why not start the habit now? Why not start the habit of always knowing how much money you're getting, how much is going out, and how much you need to budget, so that later when you're making heaps more money, you've already got that habit in place. Trust me, I think a lot of people think just because your business might be making $1 million that you yourself are successful. That's not the case. You want to be rich, you want to have financial freedom. It's all about your personal net worth, and that is only going to be high if you have a good savings and investments portfolio. So really thinking about how much money is coming in, how much is going out, and how much your own personal wealth is growing is how you are eventually going to become super successful and super wealthy. My next habit is stretching or doing yoga. Now I know this sounds kind of different to all the other habits because they all are around success and happiness, but honestly, stretching is so important. And the more I realize how much not stretching is having an impact on my life, the more I realize that this truly is one of those base habits that can dictate how successful you are in so many other areas. Now we can look at this from a very physiological perspective. You cannot perform if you don't have the right energy, and you won't have the right energy if your body isn't performing the way that it should. And one of the ways that it's going to perform the way it should is by being in balance, by you stretching out all of your muscles, especially if you are sitting down every single day. But then if you want to look at it from a spiritual perspective, if you don't have your chakras aligned, if your body hasn't got a fluid motion of creativity and energy being able to run through all of your joints, all of your energy centers, you're not going to be able to create and be successful. So I know it sounds like a very small thing, but if you can make a daily habit of even 10 minutes stretching out your body every single day, moving around your hips, moving around your body, allowing the feminine energy to come through, I promise you, you'll be so much more energetic, have so much more vitality, and be so much more creative. And if you're all of those things, you'll perform at a much higher level. The next habit is journaling and reflecting. Now, I've spoken about these both quite a bit, especially on Instagram, but honestly, it's really hard to feel empowered and motivated to move forward on your journey when you're not taking the time to reflect and journal about how far you've come. Too many people are always looking at the gap. You know, I want to make $1 million, I want to reach 100,000 YouTube subscribers, and we're always looking at how far we have to go. But do you know what's going to motivate you so much and really add fuel to your fire is realizing how far you've actually come. You know, you might be sitting there thinking, well, I'm still waiting to get my first client in business, or I want to make my first 10K month. But I mean, have you set up your business? Have you built a website? Have you started posting on Instagram? Those are all really, really positive things that you should be super proud of. So instead of wallowing in the fact that you've yet to get your first client or yet to make your first 10K month, why not be super proud of the fact that you've got to where you are thus far and that you're just still on the journey? You know, I try to reflect at the end of every single day, and if not, then at the end of every single week. But sometimes even throughout the day, it's really easy to feel like you've got nothing done because, you know, you might have been working on a whole bunch of mini tasks, or maybe you were just super focused on one thing, and, you know, when you just do one thing in one day, you don't feel like you've moved forward. So I made it the habit of, at the end of every single day, writing everything I did that helped my business. And even that small task allowed me the next day to be like, okay, I was super productive yesterday, let's keep that momentum going. So whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, it doesn't matter, but make a habit of reflecting on how far you've come on your journey, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. And then the final habit, and honestly, I just wanted to put this one in here because I truly, really do think, truly madly, deeply, I truly do think that this one can transform your every single day. And it's to make the habit, create that. I can't even talk anymore, so many habits in this video. It's to start the habit of laughing. And I know you're gonna be like, what? As if that is one of the habits that you've included in this list. But honestly, if you could just find a way to laugh every single day, imagine how much happier your life would be. You know, whether it's just sitting there and like laughing to yourself until you actually bring on a real laugh, like fake laughing until you bring a real laugh on, or whether it's watching something funny on TV or YouTube, or listening to a funny podcast, or, you know, catching up with a friend who you know is hilarious, or even just like reading some jokes on the internet. Whatever makes you giggle, make a point every single day to make yourself laugh. Life isn't supposed to be so serious, in my opinion. You know, I think we're all so focused on goal achievement and wealth and abundance and success and climbing up success ladders, corporate or entrepreneurial. And sometimes we forget to just enjoy like the moments in each and every single day. So I know meditation's a huge thing to help you to slow down, but in all honesty, I think laughter can be just as beneficial. If you could just take a couple of moments each day to dedicate to just laughing, then I promise you, you know, 365 days of that, you're going to be a very different person and have a very different life experience at the end of 2019. So make a habit of laughing, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. What is something that makes you laugh? I mean, I absolutely love comedy. I love kind of crude comedy, to be honest. My partner's really funny, so I'm really grateful for that. But I truly do try to make as much time for laughter as possible, and it really does help me to be a much happier person in life.
When you laugh, your brain releases endorphins, yeah? Your stress hormones are reduced and the oxygen supply to your blood is increased. So you feel, I try and laugh several times a day just because it makes you feel good. So let's try that. Ooh, hey? just come on, trust me, you'll feel
Let me know in the comments below what makes you laugh, what you think is funny, and if you've got any resources, please do feel free to link them as well. But that is it from me. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Also, let me know which habit you think you are going to enjoy the most, and if you have any additional habits, please feel free to leave them as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.